Yo people, so this video is a direct follow-up from the previous two videos I've done on Snoop Dogg, Adrien, Brody and Nipsey Hussle all being the same people. Now, if you haven't seen those videos, go and watch them before this video because it will make more sense, or watch them after as you wish, but it will make more sense if you watch them first. So my point of this video is that I believe that all of these people are played by royals, and I've shown that in my previous videos, and I believe I found the royal that plays these three characters. So let's get into it. So I first of all saw Nipsey's tattoo with his crown and king with the Masonic checkers. So I'm like, they put it out there, so I'm like, he has to be a king. So let's look at some evidence. So here's Nipsey in purple, all purple, and purple being a colour for royalty, so that's a blatant link there. Then there's this with King Nipsey with his crown. Notice the crown's on a tilt, like a fallen crown. They often do that. And then another image with Nipsey with a tilted fallen crown. And then Snoop, here comes the king, Snoop Lion, when he did that atrocious reggae stuff. Then we got Snoop Dogg, West Coast royalty. And then we got this image with Snoop Dogg in purple, purple being the colour of royalty. And then this with Snoop Dogg, I think it's a video game or something, Snoop Dogg, King of the Jungle. So there's a lot of links with both of Snoop and Nipsey with royalty and being kings. So I'm thinking he has to be a king. This is how it works. This is what they do. They put it out there. And there's not many kings. There's only about 5 kings. So I'm looking through the kings that I know, some that I've done videos on. And I'm thinking it has to be this guy because he's the only guy that looks remotely anywhere near the same sort of characters. King Phillipe of Belgium, who I've done videos on and plays many characters. And so I was like, wow, it has to be him because I can't see any other resemblance. But I'm like, is it really him? You know, I couldn't, it confused me at first. So I started researching. And I found this little link. It's only a small link, but it's this. A fan Beatles biopic. It's like a fan thing. Adrien Brody as John Lennon. And I thought, wow, that is a link. Because this guy plays John Lennon. So I'm like, okay, I'm onto something here. But I'm still thinking, wow, how can he be Snoop Dogg and Nipsey Hussle? He really doesn't look like them. So I started to look at some other photos. So I found this one here, and I was thinking, okay, he looks a little bit more like him, but not really. So I thought I'd Google some John Lennon photos. And I found this one. Obviously, this is like 80s John Lennon. I'm thinking, right, okay, now we're on to something. And if you put them together there, you can start to see a resemblance between Adrien Brody and 80s John Lennon. But when you think about John Lennon from the 60s, he looks nothing like it. But once you start looking at 80s John Lennon, you start to sort of see a resemblance. And if there's another photo here, 80s John Lennon, Adrien Brody, put them together here, and you can start to see similarities. And then I found this photo. This is an 80s John Lennon photo. And if you put this next to Adrien Brody here, I mean, they look so similar there. Like, you think of 60s John Lennon as this certain image, but put these two together, look how similar they look. And when you start to look at it, if you look at his eyes, those sort of eyes, you can start to see the same eyes in this photo of John Lennon. So if we look at Adrien Brody's wife and compare King Phillipe's wife, the Queen, I've forgotten her name, I think it's Matilda, you can start to see a resemblance between these two. And if we put these together here, you know, they changed things, they got masks, but you can see a definite resemblance there. So I'm well confident about this because I saw it and my intuition is usually right, and I just went with it, and then I found all these links. And when I found the photo of 80s John Lennon that looked so much like Adrien Brody, I knew I was right. But what I'll explain to you, there is definitely things going on here that aren't explained. Like Snoop Dogg is supposedly 6'3", Nipsey Hussle supposedly 6'1", Adrien Brody supposedly 6'1", and this guy who also plays John Lennon plus many others is supposedly 5'10", 6 foot. So, you know, these other characters definitely look taller. So there's something going on here. But what I'm questioning, which I really don't know, is this just pure smoke and mirrors, which I believe it is. I believe they just are masters of smoke and mirrors. Or can they change their heights? Because maybe they understand things that we don't. Like, if they can live a long time because they understand the secrets of the universe, maybe they can manipulate their heights as well. But I still sit here and believe that this is to do with smoke and mirrors, but I keep it open and believe that they can adjust their heights. But either way, I believe that I'm right on this one because I saw it and I just felt my intuition that I'd got it right. So I believe that I found the royal that plays Nipsey Hussle, but that means this guy that plays Nipsey Hussle and Snoop Dogg also played John Lennon and many, many other people. See my other videos, which I'll put on the link for the end of this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace!